Hello again, Orchard Academy. It's really nice to chat to you again. In this video I'm going to talk to you about some of the changes that we've made to the behaviour policy and some new rules that we've introduced to make sure that you'll be happy and safe when you return in September. The first thing I needed to talk to you about is your arrival to the Academy. You will have been notified by letter about your arrival time. You will know that different year groups will arrive at different times. This is really important to make sure that we don't have crowding at the beginning of the school day and that you're safe to travel on public transport. It's very important that you arrive at school in line with your arrival time. Try not to get here too early or later, otherwise you will mix with other year groups. When you arrive, it's important that you maintain social distance and keep yourself safe. Make sure that you are in full uniform with your lanyard on display. You'll come in through your assigned entrance too. Your assistant head of year and other staff will be there to greet you. When you come into school, we'll ask you to use hand sanitizer to make sure that your hands are nice and clean before the day starts. When you get into school, it's important you go straight to your assigned classroom. This will be your tutor base or the classroom where you'll be spending the day. Make sure that you go straight there and again, avoid social mixing with other people that are not in your bubble. It's likely that you'll spend most of your time in your assigned classroom. If you're in Key Stage 4, you will go out to other classrooms for different subjects, but if you're in Key Stage 3, it's likely that you'll spend most of your time in your assigned classroom and that your subject specialist teachers will come to you. Again, this is to make sure that you don't have to move around the academy too often, and this will help to keep you safe. At the end of the school day, you will have an end time. Again, this is likely to be different to other year groups. At the end of the day, your teacher will escort you from the premises and make sure that you get off safely. We'll ask you not to congregate around the academy grounds or on the road directly in front of the school. Again, this is to make sure that we don't have overcrowding in those areas. We'll ask you again to sanitise your hands on the way out and then make your way home for the evening. During the school day, it's important that you try to maintain social distance as far as possible. In your classroom, you'll be given an allocated seat and you'll be asked to stay in that seat. It's really important that if you move around the school that you adhere to the one-way system in place. This hasn't really changed. You'll need to use your year group's dedicated staircase. Your tutor will let you know which this is when you start back to school. While you move around the school, it's important that you do so in single file and that you keep left, as is our usual expectation. This will help to make sure that there isn't crowding on corridors and that people can move around safely. You've been placed into year group bubbles with the staggered starts, breaks and lunches at different times, as well as a designated classroom area. It's really important that you keep to these and don't socialise with other students outside of your bubble. This will help to keep you safe. Apart from the areas that we've outlined, all other areas of the academy will be out of bounds. If you're in Key Stage 3, you will remain in your classroom and teachers will come to you. If you're in Key Stage 4, you're likely to move around the college for certain subjects that are part of your options. It's really important that we manage transitions between lessons carefully. We will be establishing and introducing a new reading routine. We'll talk to you more about this when you come back to school in September. The reading routine will be used at the end and start of lessons to make sure that teachers have the time to move between lessons and that you're calm whilst you're waiting for teachers to arrive. It's important then that you bring a reading book to school. If you don't have one at home, you can use the school library or you can use the school book box. As you would expect, having increased hygiene throughout the school day is going to be really important. You'll be reminded to wash and sanitise your hands regularly. Hand washing will need to be for a minimum of 20 seconds and thorough. And as I've already mentioned, we'll be asking you to sanitise your hands before school and at the end of school day. We'll also be asking you to wash them thoroughly before break and before lunch and when you come back in from those social times as a minimum. If you have a cough or you have to sneeze, then we'll expect you to do that into a tissue and dispose of it in the lidded bin provided. It's important that we catch it, bin it, kill it to make sure that germs don't spread. If you don't have a tissue to hand, you should of course cough or sneeze into your elbow and then wash and sanitize your hands afterwards. Any student that experienced any symptoms of COVID-19 whilst in school would need to inform an adult immediately. The main symptoms are a high temperature, a new and continuous cough, this means that you'll be coughing a lot, or a loss of smell or taste. Remember, if you have any of those symptoms whilst at home, please don't come into school. If you begin with symptoms like that whilst in school, tell an adult immediately. As part of our increased hygiene, we'll need to make sure that you sit according to a seating plan. Stay in your seat and don't mix seats with other students. Seats in the classroom have been arranged to maximise social distancing, so please don't move the furniture. You'll need to bring your stationery from home. Don't share stationery with anyone else. Similarly, don't share other items with students, such as drinks, food or makeup. You need to know that the water fountain is not in use. Therefore, it's important that you bring a water bottle from home. In the case of PE, for example, it may be necessary to share some specialist equipment, but this will be cleaned before and after you've used it. Finally, just a note on face masks. At the moment, the government does not recommend face coverings in schools for students. Therefore, if you were to wear a face covering on your way to school, for example if you're using public transport, then you will be asked to remove it before entering the school. If you had a particular medical need that might require a face mask, then we will ask to meet with you and your parents so that we can complete an appropriate risk assessment. We know that there's a lot of information for you to take on board and some changes. However, please remember that all staff are there to help you and to remind you whilst you get used to the new routines. We're really looking forward to seeing you when you come back in September. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.